Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm out on another exploration. Here's my car, and I've parked it up on what I have to say is a grey and miserable day, which I thought the weather forecast said it was going to be a nice sunny day, but hey-ho. And I'm walking down a private road here, just north of Horsham. I'm exploring another castle, a so-called castle, but actually it's a moated manor house that could have been around in the 14th century, something like that. You may remember that a week or so ago I went and had a look at Motte and Bailey Castle in Horsham. I didn't know there was one. And when looking at the map at that, I noticed there was something called, and I've got to get this right, Hawkesbourne Castle, just slightly to the north. And it was an earth enclosure and I wasn't quite sure what it was. Well, one of my viewers, Glen Johnson, has already found it and posted some video of his findings in the Bald Explorer group pages on Facebook. And I thought, right, if he can find it, so can I. So I've come to look for it. Now, he went through a whole load of woodland, he said, in his video, but there is a path. I don't know if it's a public accessible path, so I'm going to have an investigation. So I'm strolling down this lane which runs parallel to the 246 north of Horsham, and then on old maps there is indicated a path that goes north. It's also on the Ordnance Survey, so I'm rather hopeful that we can find it and that it is publicly accessible. Otherwise I may not be able to go up there. I don't like to willingly trespass on property. Oh, here, I think this must be Channels Brook, this little stream that comes down here. So I think, yeah, we do cross here, and then somewhere up this lane there should be the pathway. However, if there's no keep off and there's a path, I just think, well, you know, if it's a path and you're not doing anything desperate and then nobody's said keep out, then why not? Particularly if you're looking for a historic treasure of national interest. So we'll carry on down this lane a little longer and see if we can find the pathway. There looks like a fence here which may prevent me from getting in. It's somewhere on the left hand side. I can't see an immediate way in. However, looking at the map, there's a little path going south and there's a hole in the hedge here, and I think this might be it. So I'm just going to have a look. In here, it is woodland, and there's some sort of pathway, and there's, I don't know, but we'll persevere a little bit. This is what looks like a pond, but looking at the map, clearly this is the way, and there's this funny little makeshift bridge across the water here, and I believe the path goes up that way, so I'm going to risk it. I've got to clamber across here without falling in. I don't know how safe that all is. Especially, oops, holding a camera. Right, and now a dead end. Oh, wait a minute, here's the path. Here we go, look. So this has taken me out into a field. This is better. Sometimes when you're looking for stuff you can get put off very easily, as you saw then, by where is it, how do I get there, what is legitimate, what's not legitimate. And there's that slight wariness, I feel, that someone's going to come out, you know, with a shotgun and say, "Oi, get off my land." But there's a definite path here, and it is on old maps, and there's no private sign. So we'll carry on through here. It's a little bit wet underfoot, but not too grim. And we go through all this woodland, and hopefully it shouldn't be too far in here. Lots of squirrels around at the moment, darting about. I saw earlier footprints which looked like deer prints in the ground, but quite deep, as it was quite muddy. There's an earth bank all along here, and earth banks, of course, are famed for demonstrating where land boundaries are. So I'll just carry on up here. A lot of fallen trees here, pine trees by the looks of these. Lost the essence of the path, but just going to carry on a little bit, see what we see. The site itself is believed to have been built before the Motte and Bailey Castle by the Normans back that way. That's what makes it very intriguing. Why go to the trouble of building this fortified manor and then building a Motte and Bailey Castle? I'm stalking through these woods here and feeling like I've ventured into somebody else's property. But it can't be that far away. The earthwork itself is quite large. It's a D shape. Now, I know when Glenn found it, he said there was an entrance to the south, but actually looking up the info, I think the entrance was actually to the east. Gosh, I wonder if I've missed it somehow. I double tracked again and went round the wood. There's a little plank bridge I just went across, very rotten, and it looks like you've got to stay this side of the woodland, which is just here, and it goes up this way. So I'm doing that now, and hopefully we'll be able to see where the path then goes. This clearly is not a path that many people have used, although there are occasional footprints and horse hooves in there. So I shouldn't really have gone into that part of the woodland, although the path did look like it initially led there. But again, this is where having the map really helps. Okay, so the path ducked back in. Clearly there's horses and stuff come through here, but I have found it. Here is the moated site, D-shaped, as I said before, with the proper entrance in the east, and it's a little bit muddy and boggy. I'm going to just walk through here and up this other side. This has just been made as an access, but wasn't originally access where this path goes through. And here we are. We've got the banks around. There's not too much to see as such, of course. It is just landscape. But on here, would have been a manor house. And it's quite a largish area, protected by this large bank that goes around in the moat. Back then in the 14th century, timber framed house of some description. That I did look at some research that said there was no suspicion at all of stone housing, so it would have been probably a two-storied timber house. Very simple by what we would think of, but quite substantial in the day, and probably quite a busy place. So somewhere in the east is where the main entrance was. Let's just climb up onto this and have another view. You could see the undulating protective bank coming around, and if I pan the camera past all these old beech trees, I think they are some of them, and come round, you see this rather fantastic big old beech probably here. Come round here, full of badger sets now, and lovely green mosses, as well as wildlife and birds. And then you can see down here, it's terrifically preserved. Well, it's a bit of a find to find it, I have to say. The trees here are very weird and, you know, bent at weird angles, all trying to get up to the light. Somewhere on the east side is the entrance. Hawkesbourne Castle. So, from what I understand, was a castle that was not a castle but a big manor house. And then the Motte and Bailey Castle further south was built afterwards. So that's fascinating, isn't it? I thought it would have been the other way around, but clearly not. And here is the landscape that once housed probably two buildings, I would imagine, some form of courtyard, pound for certain animals. And you might ask, why did they need this sort of protection? Well, when the Normans first came in, one of the things that was happening is there was a resistance, of course, by the Anglo-Saxons. They weren't very keen to be lorded over by the Normans, and so discreetly many Normans were being popped off, so to speak. So protection, dominance, clear sign of authority. But anyway, we found it. In Glen Johnson's video, he even mentioned this little swing here. I found that too. Anyway, that's my investigation over. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Become a patron. I'll go out and do more exploring. But until next time, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. How the hell do I get out of here and find my way home?